Subscribers, welcome to the cricket show happenings live here on YouTube. Uh, on this particular cricket show, two test matches we are looking at: Australia versus Pakistan. There was something unexpected happened, and it was Yasir coming in at number 8 and scoring a century for Pakistan, his maiden test century. And what a knock. I mean, against the quality pace bowling attack of the Aussies, making a century there and hitting a wonderful century, which will go a long way in telling that Yasir Shah has always been a very good fighter as far as Pakistan cricket is concerned. But here he comes, really showing his fighting qualities in full measure as he carved a wonderful century, even though that didn't really help Pakistan get out of the woods and they could not save the follow-on, and they were struggling on the final day. And Babar Azam, on the other hand, missing his century and coming in at number 8 and making a century against Australia on yes, the pitch definitely there was not much movement for the bowlers, so definitely one can say that he had his reprieves at times, carving a beautiful century according to me. And as I said, nicely he tried to do at it, but he could not actually get the full middle of the bat to that, and it resulted in the ball edging the bat and Tim Paine behind the stumps nicely settling under it, and that was Babar Azam out for 97. So that is, definitely the Australians are definitely having a firm grip on the match. Pakistan were bowled out for 302, and then in the second leg they were 39 for 3 at close of play on day 3 at the Adelaide Oval. Here, just give me a moment here. Just wanting to refresh things here. Well, I can say that 200 and one has to say that Pakistan are going to find it very difficult. They have lost Babar. So we will come back to that. We'll revisit that later. Going on in the Trans-Tasman territory. Again, it's New Zealand that we are talking about. New Zealand and England. Again, as we have seen in this series, that even though New Zealand have won the first test match, we see that these two teams are evenly balanced, and the fight still goes on. England still wanting 106 runs on the 4th day to go into the lead. And for England, there were 2 centurions. One innings, he actually buckled himself. He really, was very determined. And there came the second test century for Rory Burns. But unfortunately, he was out for a decision of his own making, as he was running a bit gingerly, and it resulted in a run out. He was run out for 101 with 15 boundaries. And the best thing that happened for England was that the England captain Joe Root fired on one Joe Root 2019. That match is looking good. We are still into the 4th day, and the first innings is not yet over. So, but there's not much in the pitch, but one definitely saw one of the balls from the left-arm spinner Mitchell Santner really kick off and really had everyone with their mouth agape when they saw something of that sort happening. Nevertheless, so let's first head towards and we'll also head over Australia versus Pakistan, and let me give you a synopsis of what happened. They had really said, but Babar Azam was someone who was actually making batting look very easy. Absolutely, what a class player he is. I mean, very minimal foot movement. The bat beautifully comes across, hits the ball with a sort of a very just a sweet stroke, one could say, from Babar Azam. The ball actually coming and hitting the sweet part of the bat, and the ball racing towards the boundary. Such is the pure timing and the elegance with Babar Azam plays. And I'm sure he's going to regale crowds all over the world as far as cricket is concerned. What a player, Babar Azam. Absolutely a classic player. And he made 97. And this part, at the other end, the man who was keeping him company, Yasir Shah, was there. I mean, he was taking everything that the Aussies were hurling at him. And as I said, Yasir Shah has always been a fighter. From 96 for 6, these two batsmen put on the highest ever partnership for the 7th wickets against Australia, as this partnership went on to put a 105-run partnership. Babar Azam, as I said, was just flowing. He was just flowing in his strokes, and certain strokes that he played, oh my goodness, it was oozing with class. And when basically very, very unfortunate, Babar Azam playing superbly for his 90s with 11 boundaries was a victim, as I said. Now this is a short Stark actually straightened. And as I said, he likes to drive on the up, but he has to make sure that he actually keeps the ball down. But in this case, it was angled in, but it straightened at the last moment, I thought, from Stark. And it was, the Aussie captain, Tim Paine, behind the stumps, taking a good catch. It's a one-handed catch he took. And Babar was absolutely gutted after his dismissal. And why not? I mean, it was very essential that Babar Azam would stay, especially considering that Yasir Shah was still there at the crease. Definitely Babar Azam had to stay. But unfortunately, that was not the case. And when Babar Azam walked back after making 97 with 11 boundaries, the whole actually rooted for him by giving him a standing ovation. And as I said, he deserved every bit of it. For Pakistan, 97, absolutely, as I said, it was pure class batting from this beautiful player from Pakistan, Babar Azam. Magnificent batting from Babar. We saw Shaheen Shah Afridi. Mitchell Stark got into the act. He picked up the wicket of Shaheen Shah Afridi, a first ball duck when he had him LBW. Yasir Shah continued. He was willing to play his strokes. He was waiting for the loose delivery, and this was, as I said, it's a very, very creditable knock for Yasir Shah coming to Australia on Australian pitches against the Australian quality quicks, making 113. Favors the brave, and Yasir Shah went on to make his maiden Test century, coming in at number 8. He made his maiden Test century, and there are a few people who have made centuries at number 8. One was the Indian wicketkeeper. Now that is Indian wicketkeeper. One would say that another thing comes to memory is that I think Saqlain Mushtaq made a century. Jason Gillespie for Australia has made, but I wouldn't know whether he came in at number 8 or he came in as a night one. Yasir Shah coming in and making 113 definitely shows that this bloke has a lot of batting ability. 113, and as I said, he surprised one and all with his batting. 113 with 13 boundaries. At least he saved some face. Mohammad Abbas showed a bit of pluck there. Making 29 4 fours and 1 6. Musa remained not out for the Aussies. 302. So basically, we are looking at 287 runs in arrears for Pakistan. And Tim Paine did not waste any time in enforcing the follow-on. But there was a very big silver lining for Mitchell Stark as he went on to pick up 6 wickets for 66 runs. His bowling figures: 25 overs, 6 maidens, 66 runs, and 6 wickets for Mitchell Stark. Patrick Cummins, 3 for 83, 1 for 48 for Josh Hazlewood, and for 66 runs. His bowling figures: 25 overs, 6 maidens, 66 runs, and 6 wickets for Mitchell Stark. Patrick Cummins, 3 for 83, 1 for 48 for Josh Hazlewood, and Pakistan in their second leg once again got themselves into serious trouble as they closed the day at 39 for 3. Now, just to tell what really happened, Shan Masood was not there at close of play, but Imam ul Haq, one has to say, has not had a good game. He was LBW bowled Hazelwood for naught. Azhar Ali left caught by Smith of the bowling of Stark for 9. So that was a big blow for them. It was a good catch, which was taken by Steven Smith at second slip. And one has to say, Azhar, it was not a good shot. The ball is outside the off stump. He wanted to work it away off his pads, and it didn't really materialize. And the ball actually flew to the right of Smith, and Smith put up a great dive to snaffle it. Babar Azam, that was another big wicket for, and George Hazlewood, as I said, was absolutely on the money. And Babar Azam on the second innings was not successful. He was dismissed for 8 runs. In fact, it was a back of wing delivery outside the off stump, and it was all over. Very good delivery, I thought, from a metronomic bowler, Josh Hazlewood. Picked up the wicket of Babar Azam, caught by Payne for 8. And finally, stumps were drawn with Shan Masood batting on 14 with 2 boundaries. Asad Shafiq was not out on 8, as Pakistan would have been pretty relieved to go back to their respective places. Seeing the end of the third day at 39 for 3. Mitchell Stark at 1 for 10, 2 for 15 for Josh Hazlewood. None for 14 for Cummins. As I said, 4th day to get the 248 runs that is required to actually make the Aussies bat again, so that they don't fall into a trap whereby they would be suffering their second consecutive innings defeat at the hands of the Aussies. And that is something they can really. Where New Zealand and England are doing battle, I think probably while I'm talking to you, probably getting on to the 4 days play, but we are talking here about day. And England started off with Rory Burns and Joe Root at the crease, and definitely they did a very, very good job. I mean, it was a big partnership that happened, as you would understand. Last evening, 24 for 2 was the score, and Joe Denley was into the pavilion. But after that, it was a wonderful partnership, which was expected as well on this particular pitch. It was a 178 runs partnership between Rory Burns and the England captain, Joe Root. And definitely, as I said, there was nothing in the pitch there, and it was just a matter of applying oneself, and that's what precisely Rory Burns and Joe Root. Joe Root was pretty guarded about it, because it has been quite a long time since he has got a big knock under his belt, and especially a century, and knowing the quality of batting that Joe Root possesses, and also as a captain of the team, one would have expected that. So Joe Root decided to really be very, very cautious in his play. At the other end, Rory Burns play where he somewhat dominated. He was good on the good with his strokes on the onside. He could nicely flicker the pads. He also used the pull shot to the short balls from the New Zealand bowlers, and that went on, and things were going on at such a stage where probably one was thinking that the Englishmen, for the first time at tea, would have, for 2 sessions, would have not lost a wicket. But suddenly there was some bit of confusion that happened in the camp there, especially it was Rory Burns first getting on to his century, getting to his second Test century, which was good to see. He was, and unfortunately, he was run out. Now, this is something where Rory Burns has only himself to play, because going for the second run, there was not a lot of commitment on the end. There was a bit of a gingerly run by Rory Burns, which resulted in Jeet Rawal actually throwing the ball to Watling, and it went for a review. It took a bit of time for the third umpire, or the third umpire, the TV umpire, to come and make the decision. But finally, when the decision was made, it was Rory Burns was walking back to the pavilion, run out 101, 15 boundaries in that knock. After that, Joe Root was still there at the crease. He was set to get to his century. Ben Stokes joined him, and Ben Stokes, well, he contributed 26 before Saudi actually picked up his wicket. Tim Saudi getting Ben Stokes' wicket for 26. It was a good delivery, and for especially for a batsman of Stokes' caliber, you definitely required a good delivery, and that came in the form of Tim Saudi delivery, pitching on the off stump, moving a fraction away, and it was all over. It was Taylor who had taken the catch, and Stokes was gone. Zach Crawley on his test debut walked in, and definitely there was the sign of nerves. He just managed to actually sneak through for a single, and then finally did not take much time as Joe Root was watching it at the other end with the young debutant Zach Crawley being gobbled up by Watling behind the stumps. Now, this was the perfect length for Neil Wagner. He edged the delivery. The ball was, just swinging away from Zach Crawley. And definitely there was no foot movement by Zach Crawley. Push at it, and it ended up in the hands of Watling behind the stumps. Crawley was walking. He was gone. So not a good opening test debut for the young Zach Crawley. He would learn from his mistakes for sure. As finally, when stumps were drawn, the Englishmen were placed at 269 for 5, with Joe Root, the England captain, finally getting to his century after quite a long time, when he was not out on 114 with 14 boundaries, and Ollie Pope was there, not out on 4. And as I said, another 106 runs still separate England from New Zealand. So it would be interesting to see whether it is going to be the Englishman taking it, but there's still some batting left. Joe Root is still at the crease. Pope is really capable, and then they still have the all-rounder Sam Curran and Chris Woke still to come. So even Stuart Broad at number 11 would be someone who can bat. And Archer already showed some glimpses as well in the previous match. So England would be tipped here to go and, as I said, there was only one delivery that really caused a bit of a sort of a real delivery that really caused a bit of a sort of a real sort of Santner, which really jumped. So that is something one has to see whether the nature of the pitch has changed on the 4th day. The bowling, Tim Saudi, 263, 1 wicket to Matt Henry and Neil Wagner, and that was a match situation. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I don't think I will have much time to really dwell on anything else. It's about time for me to pull the curtain down on this cricket show of mine today. That's on a Sunday. Hope you all loved it. Next cricket broadcast, again, subject to time, you would be seeing me on air once again tomorrow. That's on a Monday. This being said, it's your host Ram, definitely pulling the curtain down on this cricket show for today. Thank you.